Keyframe. What is it?
Hello and welcome to another After Effects tutorial. Keyframes. It is a point on your timeline that defines a specific value of a specific property at a specific time. Now, why do we need it? We need a keyframe to animate between different values of the property. Now, what is a property? A property can be anything from effect that we have added, like ball action, or it can be simple as scale or position. So this is going to be After Effects Basics, where we learn everything basic and fundamental about After Effects. So how to enable this keyframe? So in every property that can be animated in After Effects, there is a stopwatch right at the beginning of it. So click it and here we go. You have a keyframe. Now let's talk about keyframes and their types, shall we? First of all, we have linear keyframe. Now, linear keyframe is simple and sweet, and it gets the work done for the most part. Now, it is the default keyframe that whenever you enable any keyframe, you're going to have the linear keyframe. Now, what are some characteristics or what are the tendencies of this linear keyframe? A linear keyframe is at a certain point it will start moving or the animation will begin. In this example, we have this red ball that is going from point A to point B and coming back. Now, as we can see, there is no speed difference. At certain point, the ball is starting to move towards the B or towards A, depending on what you're seeing. So there are no snappiness to it, and it's kind of mundane. So why do we use it? Now, we use it if you want to make a simple movement. You'll use a linear keyframe, a very simple movement, like going from point A to point B for a ball. Now, let's see in the graph editor how it looks like. Now, as you can see, the ball is going very smooth, as you can see, and the graph is a straight line. There is no hills or bumps or any sort of curves, Now let's discuss the Easy Ease keyframe, the most used keyframe of all time. Now, Easy Ease keyframe can be enabled by simply right-clicking on your keyframes and going to the now. Okay, so let's talk about Easy Ease keyframes. Now, when you have your animation done, the basic linear keyframe is done. What we can do is we can see how to create Easy Ease keyframe. Now, select your keyframes, go to Keyframe Assistant, and then select Easy Ease. The keyframe should look like an hourglass if you have selected the right keyframe style. Or you can simply click on Function Key 9. That's a shortcut for Easy Ease keyframe. That's the most used keyframe, so you better remember the shortcut for the next time. Okay, so let's discuss about some characteristics or some behavior of this keyframe. Now here we can see the ball is still going from point A to point B and coming back, but it starts slow and it ends slower. No, actually they start and end slow. As we can see in the graph editor, we can see a nice curve. That's your Easy Ease keyframe. Now let's talk about another type of keyframe, that is ease in keyframe. Now the last one was Easy Ease. This is ease in keyframe. Now the last one we talked about was Easy Ease keyframe. Now in ease in keyframe, what we can see or what we can observe is it starts kind of fast but slowly eases in to the final position. Like as you can see, from B to A or A to B, it starts with the speed and with this thing. By the end of it, it has lost all its charm, or is just slowly stopping. So where we can use this animation? Well, we can use it in anywhere we want to, show a slow end to it. Okay, now let's see the graph. Now as you can see two different lines, one green, one red. Don't freak out, it's just a value type graph. Now what we need to do is change it to speed graph. Okay, so if you want to learn After Effects and start earning from After Effects, or if you are just here to try out a new skill, you know what to do. Just subscribe, like, comment and share as much as you can. Now these are ease out keyframes. Now ease out keyframes are exactly opposite of ease in keyframes. So what they do is, ease out keyframes are exactly opposite of ease in keyframes. So what they do is they start slow and end with a bang. Like as you can see, from point A to B is starting slow at A and going kind of quick at the stop, at the B stop. Now, how to identify this keyframe? Well, you should see an arrow which points towards the left. Now if we see the graph, it starts slow and ends at full speed. Now this is easy ease modified. Now this is where we modify things in the graph editor. Now as we can see is it starts very slow at A and stops very slow at B, but moves rapidly in between. Now this kind of animation you can see in every advertisement in today's day and age, or anything that is created in After Effects or any other animation software. You would see easy ease keyframe and modified one. Now we can modify it in different ways, but this is the most common one, where the middle part is sped up and the start and the stop is cushioned. So if we see the graph editor from this, we can see is just round. Now as we can see is we have some Bezier handles here. Now everything in After Effects is working on your Bezier curve. So we can just pull the handles so that there is a spike in the middle and there is a flat line or near flat line at the starting and the ending, so that we have your easy ease keyframe. Now the last kind of keyframe that we are going to discuss today is hold keyframe in After Effects. A hold keyframe in After Effects is a special type of keyframe that creates a abrupt change instead of a smooth transition between values. When we set a keyframe to hold, the value remains constant until the next keyframe, where it instantly jumps to the new value. When to use this hold keyframe? So suppose we want to show a cut effect where there is no animation. It changes rapidly from one value to the other, kind of like binary or switch, on or off, 0 or 1. Now the next situation where we want to use this hold type keyframe is freezing a value until the next keyframe. Well, it's hold keyframe, so we are basically doing that. Now creatively we can use it to create a stop motion like animation where it's not consistent motion but it breaks into sections. So wherever we want no animation or values that are not animated but they change, we can use a hold keyframe. Now we use hold keyframe for making something appear and stay there forever. Okay then, so that was it guys. Hope you liked the video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and we will see you on the next tutorial. And the next tutorial is going to be a bit special because the next tutorial in this series, After Effects Basics, is going to be rather special because now your motion graphic is as good as your renders, right? So we will discuss everything and everything beyond everything that you can do with your rendering to make it a top-notch motion graphics. Tada, bye, and don't forget to subscribe because you're not going to want to miss the next video. Bye bye then, see you in the next tutorial. Bye.